Homer Johnson is a legend in Texas high school sports. Homer graduated from Garland High School in 1945. He played center for the Owls football team and lettered in basketball and baseball for GHS.
To play with him was just truly a great adventure, because he'd be up in that line when we're on defense, and you could hear him up there in the front. And then, of course, in our offensive plays, and I'll always remember in one particular game, he and I were blocking together. We were on our own 2-yard line, and he snapped the ball to Bobby Griffin. Bobby ran over our backs and went 98 yards for a touchdown.
After college, Homer returned to Garland High in 1948 at the age of 20 as the backfield coach under head coach Jerry Sellers. He was the youngest assistant coach in the state of Texas at that time. Sellers told Johnson when he hired him, "Homer, you're not really what I'm looking for, but you'll do till I find him." In 1956, the Owls defeated Nederland 3-0 and won their first ever state championship. In 1958, Homer replaced Bill Ellington as the head coach of the Garland Owls. He was the youngest head coach in the top classification of Texas high school football at the mere age of 29. In 1960, Johnson led Garland High to its first district championship in the highest classification in high school football. By 1962, GISD was growing rapidly, and Coach Johnson was named the district's first athletic director. At 34, he was once again the youngest in the state of Texas. Johnson hired Chuck Curtis as his replacement, and he led Garland High School to back-to-back state championships in 1963 and 64. During his time as athletic director, Homer Johnson made it his mission to help as many student athletes as he could by mentoring and hiring them in his work programs.
Back in '73, all of us kids worked for Homer Johnson at Williams Stadium. He'd come up and he'd give us summer jobs, and we'd run track. And one of the funniest things that we had is that him and Ricky Pierce would always get into it, and Willie Jones. And so Ricky, he kicked Ricky in the butt one time because Ricky wasn't doing something, and Ricky told him, he said, I was gonna kill Homer. So it was one of those funny things, but we had a lot of fun with Homer, and actually he would help us when, you know, most people wouldn't. So he was kind of looked down upon because here was this guy back in the 70s helping these black kids when, you know, back then we know there was a lot of racism going on, but Homer would always be there for us and get us in shape and make us do the right thing.
In 1976, Johnson hired the first woman coach in GISD when he hired Judy Campbell at South Garland High School.
I was in a small town east of here in 1976, minding my own business, teaching and coaching, when a perfect stranger named Homer B. Johnson contacted me. And he said, "Judy, the federal government, I think, is going to have to make me put in women's sports over here in Garland. And if I have to do that, I want you to come be my coach. So what you need to do is resign your job and get on over here to Garland." And I said, "Well, Homer, what happens if the federal government doesn't make you put in athletics for women?" "I don't know, but we'll figure something out. Just get on over here." Who takes a job like that, right? I did.
Though Homer has watched thousands of athletic events over the years, he never lost his desire to personally compete and excel.
At North Garland, we had a faculty tennis tournament, and I won the men's single. Homer happened to come by after running some laps around the track, and he asked me who won the tennis match, and I told him I did. He said, "I can beat your butt." So we decided to play a best 2 out of 3 games. He won the first game, I won the second game, and then he won the third game. But Homer, you didn't tell the people the rest of the story, that I played you left-handed.
I worked for Homer all through college at the athletic department, and Homer used to run 6 miles a day. And everybody thought, you know, well, there's no way he can be gone for an hour and run 6 miles and be showered and back. And so one day I questioned him, and he said, "Well, just come run with me." And he ran over at the cemetery by his house. He had a path that he had already measured out. And so we were on about mile 3, and I'll tell you, my legs were wobbly, and I didn't think I was gonna make it much further. And right out of the bushes came a stray dog. And I was following Homer on the path, and this dog clipped my heel, and when it did, it locked me into a freshly dug grave. And of course, I fell down in the grave and couldn't get out of it, and Homer has always loved telling that story about me and him jogging in the cemetery and me falling in the grave.
Under Johnson's leadership, GISD teams played many playoff games at Texas Stadium as a reward for a great season. And it wasn't long before Homer held a special place in the hearts of the staff.
Homer knew how to control all the employees at Texas Stadium because he found a lady that made fried apple pies, or fried pies. And he would bring boxes of them before Garland or any Garland school would play, and he controlled the stadium. Well, after years, she finally went out of business, and Homer thought he was in trouble, but everybody loved Homer. So Homer would walk in, and he'd have his own personal golf cart to take him to the press box.
In 1992, Homer hired Joe Martin from Maybank High School to coach football at Garland High.
And I'm on the phone for about maybe 10 minutes, and Homer says, wants to know if I was Joe Martin, if I was the head coach at Maybank, and then wanted to know if I was still interested in the Garland High job. And I said, well, I thought you had already hired somebody. He said, oh no, we haven't gotten that far yet. And he said, are you interested in it? And I said, yeah, I guess I think I am. And he said, well, good, the job's yours if you want it. And he quoted me a salary over the phone. And then in the conversation, which didn't last very long, he says, I really don't know you, I've never seen you, and I don't know what you look like. So I need to look at you tomorrow and we need to meet. Where's the place halfway? And I said, Coach, I'll meet you at the Dairy Queen at Crandall at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he said, well, good, come on and we'll visit and then we'll wrap this deal up. I walked back outside and Peggy says, who was on the phone? I said, it was the athletic director at Garland, it was Homer. She said, what did he want? He said, I said, he just offered me, I think he just offered me the Garland High job. And she said, what? And what did you do? And I said, I think I just took it.
He led the Owls to the 5A state championship in 1999 with a 37-25 victory over Katy. Over the years, Homer has received many awards and accolades from organizations across the state. Homer has been inducted into the Garland Sports Hall of Fame, the Texas High School Football Coaches Hall of Honor, the Texas Athletic Directors Hall of Honor, the Texas Football Hall of Honor, and the Oil Bowl Hall of Honor. But Johnson's most visible honor is Homer B. Johnson Stadium in Garland, Texas. With its recent renovations and new press box, HBJ Stadium is among the best football venues in the state of Texas. Over the 68 years of Johnson's career as coach and athletic director, Garland ISD has grown to 7 high schools, won 4 state football championships, 2 boys track championships, and 2 girls softball championships. The players and coaches have changed many times, but one thing remains the same: the commitment of one man to the students and staff of Garland ISD. That man is the legend, Homer B. Johnson.
Homer, I know I've been around you for a long time, brother, and you've done a great job. You've helped a lot of people, and to tell you the truth, I love you guys.
Homer, thank you so much for all you have done for me and my family, and not just for me and my family, but for this entire school district and the Garland community. You've been a great asset, and we wish you well. We love you very much.
And you've done a really great job representing Garland and not only the school district, but the people of Garland. You are truly a gem, and I love you, man.
Homer, thank you, sir. Let me tell you that for your 68 years of dedicated service to athletes in the Garland Independent School District, I'm one that's proud to have you as my coach and athletic director.
Thanks, Homer B., for letting me be a part of your 68 for 40 years.
To set the example that you have for everybody as administrators and coaches, and to always be there when people needed you, I appreciate that, and I learned that lesson from you, and I hope you enjoy your retirement, and I appreciate all you've done for me and for my family.
Homer, thank you for all the years of service that you've given to the district. Thank you for blessing us to be here and giving me a job and opportunity and believing in me and making me be the man that I am today.
Homer, thank you so much for everything you've done for me and my family. You know I love you like a father and always will, and congratulations on your retirement.
Homer, I just want to say thank you for 68 years of service with the GISD and for all the good you've done and helping me out all these years.
We wish you, on behalf of my wife and my family, we wish you all the best of luck in the world, and may God bless you, Homer Johnson.
You are synonymous with Garland High School and Garland ISD and the city and the community of Garland. And we love you and we appreciate you.
He helped a lot of people, and he was concerned about people, and he made that part of his life. That's how he stayed 68 years in Garland. You know, people loved Homer, and they still do, and I'm one of them.